Hello guys, and in this video we'll be learning about images and some other tags which we'll be using for formatting your web pages in HTML. So first we'll come to images. So for inserting images in your web pages, you use this tag called img. So this is as simple as it. This img tag is an empty element. In other words, you don't need to close this img tag because it does not have one. So you just declare it like this. And as we know that most of the tags in HTML have attributes, img2 has attributes for doing something special with your images inserted. So the first attribute is the Src attribute. This is the most important attribute of the img tag. Without this attribute, the img tag is of no use. So this Src tag is the one which will mention the file name or whatever JPG you're using in your web page. So img src sunflower.jpg. So this is the way of declaring an image in your web page. So I don't have an file called sunflower.jpg. If you have one, you need to give that so with the exact file name. So HTML supports .jpg files, .png files, .gif files as well. But the only thing is that you need to give the directory or the file name properly. If you don't give so, it won't be displayed properly on your web page. So this is the one thing you need to take care of, this Src tag over here. And then next, after the Src attribute, we have the alt attribute. So what this alt attribute does is that it displays some text like this when your image is loading in the web browser. So suppose once you upload this on your server or something like that on this web page, this image will get loaded from the server to the browser over there. So whoever's using or seeing your web page will get the first thing like this. So when your image is loading, this alt attribute, whatever text is mentioned in it, it's going to be mentioned in the place where you have given the image. So when the sunflower.jpg file is loading, this sunflower text will be displayed in the same place where the sunflower.jpg is supposed to come, the file. So this is the function of the alt attribute. We also have height and width attributes. Both of which are supposed to give dimensions to your picture. So height, as the name suggests, it will suggest the height for your picture. So suppose you're giving here 70, it's going to be displayed as 70 pixels height and the width in 70 pixels width. So one more thing to be noted about this height and width is that you can even give this in percentage. So 70% height and 70% width is going to adjust according to the margins of your web browser, 70% and 70% relatively. So if your monitor size is big, it's going to be displayed in such a way that the height is 70% of your dimensions and the width is also 70% of your dimensions. So when you give this percentage values like this, it's going to differ from monitor to monitor because it is relative of the dimensions of your monitor. And also one more thing, that if you use pixels, it's going to be the exact same size in all the web browsers and all the monitors you see. So this is one basic difference between using percentages and pixels as values for height and width. So this is the img tag. And also next, we'll be looking about some additional tags, some special tags, which we will be using for formatting our web pages. So the most important of all is the div tag. So div basically stands for division. What this tag does is that it divides your web pages into divisions. So you can give anything inside this, let it be a list, let it be an image, or whatever thing we have learned before under this div. So I'll just give one UL over here, which we learned from the previous video, and one li named division, and close the li, close the UL, and I'm closing the div. So this is one basic syntax of the div. You can give any number of things, endless number of things inside the div, but I've given only one UL with one li over here. So this div tag is pretty similar to the P or the paragraph tag, which we saw in the previous videos. So what it does is that it gives divisions between each and every division you use. So this makes one division. If I add another division, it's going to automatically add spaces such that it looks like divisions of your web page. So this is one powerful tag in HTML which you can use for formatting your web pages so beautifully, and it can also modify different parts of the web page in unique ways. So this div tag is one of the most important tags in formatting your web pages. A shorter form of the div is the span. It does the same thing whatever the div tag does, but the only thing is that the span applies only for a small amount of stuff like either a word or a sentence, only that much. But the div can be given for a table, a list, group of lists, group of tables, and everything can come under the div, but span only words or sentences, either one or two. So this is the span. So and close the span. So this is the working of the span tag, very simple one. So unless you learn something called as the CSS or cascading style sheets, this div and span tags won't have much of use, because the div and span tags are mostly used only for CSS styling, which we'll be learning later. So this is just an information for you so that you can remember all these tags when we learn about all those. So this is the div and span. We also have a tag called center. As the name suggests, everything you write in between the closing and opening center tags, it's going to be displayed exactly in the center of your web browser. So I write here, hello everyone, and close the center tag. So what this center tag does is that it aligns the hello everyone sentence exactly at the center of your web page. So this is the specialty of the center tag. We have another tag called B. B stands for bold. So whatever text you write inside this is going to be displayed in bold. So I write here bold. And next, we have one tag called I, called as italic. As the name suggests, everything you write in this will be slanted or in italic style. Italic, we'll write in between, close the I. Then also we have the U tag, called as the underline tag. And what it does is that it adds underlining between the stuff you write in between the U, the closing U and the opening U. And close it up. So these are the B, I, and U tags. So these are some of the tags which we use for formatting our web pages neatly. And also now we'll be seeing them all in our web browser. We'll all start up with the doc type tag. Next we continue with the HTML tag over here. Then we move on to the head, where we'll be writing our title as inserting images and formatting. And close the title, close the head. Then we code the body. So under this body, we'll first introduce one division. Next, we'll move on to displaying one image. img src is equal to picture file dot jpg. So this is the file I have. Alt, no loading. Then I give the height as 5% and the width as 60%. So we are done with the img, and then we close the div. So one of my divisions here has one image in it. So once the image is completely displayed, it's going to give some space between one div and the other div. Even if you don't mention another division, it's automatically going to add one tab space in between the next stuff you write in between the div and your body. So next, after the div, we'll come to the B tag. As I said, B tag stands for bold. Bold we'll write here, close to B. and then we'll come to I italic, close the I, U underline, close the U, and also in the top before the div we'll mention learning to insert images and slash center. So I've covered up all the tags we learned today except the span, so we'll give one span here and we'll write here as hello and slash span. So I've covered all the tags now, so we'll close up the body, and just before we end up our HTML page, I'll add another div and then give hello, close the div, and another span and saying bye bye, so slash span. So in this body I've given here two divisions, one with an image, one with hello, two spans, one with bye bye and one with hello, and one center with learning to insert images, one bold tag with bold, one italic tag with italic, and one underline tag with underline text. So we'll see the output now on our web browser by first closing up our HTML page. We move on to save this up, and as usual we'll be giving it as XYZ HTML in our desktop. We go and save this thing. So I'm done saving this thing. So now let's head on to our browser to see what is the output. So here we are on our web browser. So this is the output of the code which we wrote on our text editor. So first we had mentioned the center with learning to insert images, and see it has come on the top of the web browser exactly in the center. And next we moved on to the div with the image named picture file or JPG, and this is my picture file, and I'll also mention the height with 65% is height and width, and this is the thing. So if this thing was loading, you would have gotten the message as loading, and then next we wrote bold, the word bold inside the bold tags, the word italic inside the italic tags, and next the underline. So and next we have also seen here the span, which has been mentioned here with hello. So it has given some automatic space between the previous U tags and the next. And next we moved on to the div with the hello, and next a span with bye bye. So using the div, we can see here that it has already added a line break between one div you used and the other divisions of the web page. So it has been neatly arranged in your web browser over here. It will be the same output if you check out in your web browsers as well. So I had mentioned one hello in the div, so it has aligned itself on a new line, and also the next bye bye, the span thing, it has also aligned on a new line. So this is the advantage of using the div tag. Whatever you write inside the div, it appears on a fresh line, and also after you close the div, whatever you write, that also comes on a fresh line. So by using this div tag, you can easily arrange your web page elements anywhere you want by using the CSS code as I had mentioned earlier. But for now, this is what you need to learn, and this is the functionality of all the tags which we learned. This is the output, and we'll be looking about more tags and more stuff in HTML in the coming videos. And until then, goodbye all of you.